Today we're going to talk about Rolex secret watches. Sounds fancy. What I'm referring to is what you guys most likely know as off-catalog pieces. Pieces that are not available on the shelves, that are not available at most ADs, and pieces that even if they are available are probably not going to be shown to you if you simply walk through the door. Of course, these are the most expensive, these are the most exclusive. So let's look at some of these secret watches. In 2021, Rolex Yacht-Master, 42mm 18-karat white gold case, baguette diamond set bezel in white gold. There were two variations, one with a black dial and one with a diamond dial. Both of these had an Oyster Flex bracelet. These came out again during the hype of the COVID craze, and these things were trading at some ridiculous price, upwards of $250,000. And of course, today you'll find these watches in the market at around $130,000 to $160,000 price range. I personally like the one with the black dials. It really made the baguette bezel pop. I'm a fan of diamond watches. Specifically, I'm a fan of watches that are made with baguette cut diamonds. It just adds a level of richness, for lack of a better word, to these watches that's completely out of this world. When you start adding the pavé dial on top of that, it takes away from the baguette case. Only thing I wish they did is gave it baguette markers when we're talking about the non-diamond pavé dial, and I think that would knock it out of the park. And of course, they took it to the next level that same year by taking a Sky Dweller and making it fully iced out. Of course, they did it on the Oyster Flex version as well as the full bracelet version. And what this is back in the day, they used to make a GMT Master. They called it a GMT Ice. Again, same type of concept. You'll notice the meteorite dial, which I'm a big fan of because it really blends in well with all the diamonds. And here, they just went crazy. They have baguettes going down the bracelet, full pavé case, baguette bezel, baguette markers on the dial. I remember when the watch first came out on the market, it's one sold for like $1.4 million. Again, mind you the timing, 2021. Hot market, right? Today, you're gonna find the one on the bracelet somewhere around that $800,000 price range, which is still pretty crazy, and the Oyster Flex version at about $350,000. Now, the next one wasn't really that big of a hit. People found it to be a little funny looking, and that's the Tutti Frutti, as we dubbed them, right? And we're talking about reference number 116695 SATS, right? They made it in their ever rose gold with rotational bezel and the gem set features, 32 sapphires, 8 savorites, and a black dial. And the second variation, same thing, by gem set. Instead of the black onyx dials, you get a full pavé diamond dial. Is it a ladies watch? Is it a men's watch? It's basically an unsuccessful rainbow, if you will, because these watches, they didn't really hit it out of the park out of the gate. Today, you'll find them trading at $90,000 and $120,000 respectively, pavé, non-pavé dial. They had huge success with the Rainbow Daytona. They figured they can carry that success over to another model. It wasn't really that successful. I judge based on how many of them are sold, how many were in demand. It was not the most demanded, sort of secret watch or off-catalog piece out there from Rolex, and still really isn't. And as much as I love gem set pieces, and as much as I love diamond pieces, this is not one I would actually wear. Eye of the Tiger, as it was dubbed in the secondary market. The one thing I absolutely love about this is the same thing that Adrian has said from time to time, is the depth of this dial. It's made so well that this is the one watch where even the aftermarket people couldn't really produce the same aftermarket dials, because most of the time those dials are one-to-one. You can't tell the difference. I prefer this watch on a bracelet. Just makes the watch a lot richer. I'll gladly wear the Oyster Flex version as well. I remember these coming out. We've sold the one on a bracelet to the tune of $475,000 and the one on the Oyster for $350,000. Today you're gonna find them for $300,000 to $200,000, whether it's on a bracelet or on the strap. The one watch that's on the screen now is actually the one I would prefer in an Oyster Flex, and that's the white gold version of the Eye of the Tiger, because in white gold with a black Oyster Flex, that thing pops, and it pops so well. I've worn that watch for a little bit. Black background on a dial versus that Oyster Flex, it just makes this watch pop tremendously. This would be my favorite pick from Eye of the Tiger. And again, this watch trades at around the same price as its yellow counterpart, around that $200,000 price range. Just at the start of the COVID craze, Rolex came out with two beautiful day dates. Emerald baguette bezel, ruby baguette bezel, pavé dials, matching markers. These watches were absolutely insane. I've seen both of them in person. This is reminiscent of some of the older stuff that they used to make off catalog, and most of the time off catalog pieces were reserved for day dates. In fact, the first off catalog Daytona was made in 1978. I want to say. Now, if you look at these day dates, what's not to love? I like how they sort of separated the emerald piece from the ruby piece by changing out the markers from stick dial to Roman numerals, if you will. I kind of prefer the stick dial versus the Roman numerals because the Roman numerals on the ruby piece make it a bit busy for me. You'll find on the market today that the platinum emerald piece is trading around 400, where the ruby piece is trading at around 250. And you would think, well, it's because it's platinum, it's trading for. No, it's because of the market that this caters to. The platinum piece with the emeralds will cater to the Middle Eastern market, where green symbolizes the color of Mecca, and as well as having the ability to wear platinum due to religious beliefs. You can't wear gold, but platinum you can. Now the Sakos, a watch that I'm actually a fan of more on the Oyster Flex than I am on its bracelet. First of all, not a fan of that mother of pearl dial. I am a fan of the stick sapphire dial, right? So you have these sapphire baguettes. The black works really, really well with the Oyster Flex. I think if they made the one on a bracelet with a dial other than mother of pearl diamond, I think it would work for me as well. For me, that when I look at a watch at a glance, there's always that focal point. And in this watch, the focal point obviously is this orange sapphire bezel. And once you start taking away from it, whether by adding a bracelet or changing up the dial, to me, that's when I'm like, Watches that came out of the gate that were, you know, $300,000 to $400,000. Today, you're gonna find them on the market anywhere from $200 to $250. 2017, they came out with two peculiar looking Submariners, the 116659 SABRs. White gold, diamond set, and sapphires. Pave case, baguette sapphire bezels with diamond inserts. More of a fan of the non-diamond dial because of, once again, what I said earlier. Don't take away from the focal point. The blue dial works well with the sapphire bezel, the diamond bezel. The diamond dial version, if you look at the watch, you see diamonds. If you look at the one on the left, you see sapphires. And I think with this particular watch, the main goal was to see the sapphires. And today you're gonna find these watches anywhere from $125,000 to $155,000 on a secondary, depending whether it's a pave dial or not. Another Rolex day date, and this time they kind of did a throwback to the old Stella dials, if you will, right? So these three unique colored day dates came in a 36mm, diamond cover cases, square cut diamonds on the bezel instead of the previous round diamonds. Those weren't off catalog. Those are actually available in the catalog. The square cuts is what made these off catalog. Satellite dial, bloodstone dial, and a turquoise dial. Ah, man. It's like, you give us a little and then you take away. You know, stone dials or funky dials from Rolex has always fetched buku dollars, but I feel that the baguette markers with stones just took it away so terribly away from these pieces. But if you're doing square cuts, I feel like there was enough room to do a baguette bezel. I don't know why go with square cuts. Just everything about this is a mismatch, and I was never a fan. And of course, the emoji or the data, the puzzle. We've had maybe 3 of these in total thus far. They're trading at that $250,000 price range and they're not going anywhere. You just can't get one. Like, if somebody calls me today and say, hey, Roman, go find me one, it would be one of those watches that's not that easy to get. And for the most part, we can source pretty much anything, right? I didn't get a chance to get my hands on one where I felt it was reasonably priced enough for me to actually stock it. Rose gold, yellow gold, white gold. Obviously, you have the puzzle dial, and instead of the day of the week, you have comments such as love. Personally, if I had to pick one, I would actually go with the rose gold. I feel the red dial and the rose gold just knocks it out of the park. The rose gold version would be my favorite one here. And I threw the Mans Daytona in here. Now, is that an off-catalog piece or an on-catalog piece? I don't know. But what we do know is that it's just as impossible to get as any of these off-catalog pieces. What I do know is the white gold was discontinued after a short 6 to 9 months run at this point, which essentially makes these pieces off catalog, because this is certainly also a watch you're not going to walk into a boutique and actually see it sit in the case. Again, right now, white gold is trading at that $250,000 price range. The yellow gold we haven't seen yet. If I had to guess, it's going to come out of the woods at about a $300 price tag. Whether it's going to come down to the $250 mark as the white gold Daytona, I don't know. As far as preferences, I'm going with the white gold all day, every day, because it's most reminiscent of a stainless steel Daytona, which is what you think of when you think of a Daytona. After somewhat of a fail of the Tutti Frutti, Rolex decided to do a Yacht-Master dubbed the Cotton Candy. Of course, 2 variations produced, one black dial, not a full pave diamond dial. Didn't really change much about it. Personally, I actually like this one better than the Tutti Frutti. I feel like this watch it's not another rainbow. It's not them trying to repeat a rainbow Daytona. They see the same success. I will say that with this particular one, I would actually prefer the pave dial because I feel like it works more with the stones used in this particular bezel. Trades a little bit better than Tutti Frutti, 135 to 165. Again, it's just a better looking watch. If you took that and put it side by side with the Tutti Frutti, I would pick this one every time. And again, I would probably pick this one for my wife rather than myself, even though I like gem set stuff. Now we're gonna get into some crazy stuff, and ththese are the 126598 TRUs and TBRs. You'll notice a ruby baguette bezel, and then you see the one that was produced prior, which is the big square cuts, which is the TBR Daytona, which we've sold. That one trades today at around $2.25 to $250, while these, I know of one available today for $1.1 million, and that's what people are asking for these Daytonas. They're asking over $1 million. Yes, they do exist and they are out there on the secondary. Do I think it's worth $1 million? I think it's worth what one is willing to pay for it. And if you can't have something and this is the asking price and that's your only choice, then you buy it, wear it, and enjoy it. So guys, a quick run for you through secret Rolexes or off catalog pieces. Not a whole lot of buyers out there for pieces such as this, even at their MSRP. Quick insight, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.